everyone, welcome back to my channel. I thought today I would do a bit of a different video. It's a bit controversial, but I thought I would give my opinions on certain parenting birthings. I actually saw this on Laura Delaney's channel. I'll link her down below. I love her, she's brilliant. So I thought I would go through what sort of topics can I do. I was going to talk about pain-free births, pain relief, C-sections, vaccinations, injections, co-sleeping, breastfeeding, bottle feeding, you know what I mean, the works, dummies, crying out. I'm just going to go do everything. So if you're interested, please keep watching. Right, so I just wanted to say, I know people have different opinions, different ways of parenting and all that. I just want to give my opinions on it all. I'm not judging anyone. Do what you got to do. Your child, your rules, you know what I mean. No judging at all. It's just my opinion. I don't judge anyone. Oh, my Ison's now being delivered. I will be back. So first up, I'm going to talk about natural, I don't like calling it natural, vaginal birth compared to a C-section. I have had 3 vaginal and 1 section, and I have to say I've had very quick births, no pain relief, which wasn't my choice. I wanted everything under the sun, but because I had quick births I wasn't allowed any. And Stanley was a breech as well, so I had a breech for no pain relief, which my choice I wouldn't have had, but obviously it happened quickly. They have to get on with it. They had to let me get on with it. I mean, I don't mean I had to get on with it, but you know what I mean. And my C-section with Jack, I actually, at the time, I wouldn't have said I enjoyed it, but looking back now, I was in control. What can I say about it? I was in control. I knew everything that was going on. The only downside is I never got to hold him till I was wheeled through to recovery. I'm just trying to think what else. I didn't find the recovery too bad. Day 3, which is the day that they say you get the baby blues, was my worst day. And I just howled with Dave getting me in and out of a shower. But other than that, it was like you had a constant stitch, and I healed really well. I know people don't, but I did, and that's a different story if you haven't. I totally get that. I'm just going on my opinion. And if I had to choose again, I think I would have the C-section, because I had Dave at home helping me. With my 3 vaginals, he had to go back to work after a couple of days. I think Grace was literally like the day after, because we were pretty skint, no money, so he had to go back to work. We couldn't afford the 2 weeks paternity pay. The only reason we done it this time is because we saved with Jack, and that was lovely. That was really, really nice. So that's my opinion on. Next up is the biggie that I notice on a lot of parent boards, birth boards, everywhere generally, newspapers, is the formula feeding versus breastfeeding. And I'm going to be honest with you, I tried with George, because he was a prem, he didn't have a suck, and I was absolutely shattered, and I just had enough. So I tried for about 24 hours and he just wouldn't suck, so he didn't have a feed. I think it was 24 hours. It was like, that's about 20 hours actually. And they said if he carry on he's going to have a tube, which I obviously didn't want. And when I asked for a bottle, or can I give him a bottle, because I did take some with me just in case, I was told only because you want to go home, you want to rush home, go home. They were horrible. There's some lovely midwives, but when George was born 11 years ago, my midwife delivering the babies were fine, lovely. I had a trainee. She was a trainee. Do you call them trainees? Student? I don't know. But she was lovely and amazing. As soon as I got put on that maternity ward, I had some horrible ones. I don't mean it nasty. It's lovely ones, but horrible ones. And they're so rude. And I was 21 when I had George. So to me, I was quite young to be having a baby, and that was quite scary to me. So that just, I think, when I went on to have Grace, I planned to bottle feed, because I didn't want to go through that again. I didn't want to think, oh, my baby's got to have a tube down his throat and all this. In the end, George was beaker fed because he couldn't suck a bottle for a couple of weeks. But with Grace, I just chose to formula feed because I didn't want the hassle. And they were brilliant. They literally got me a bottle. Even though I did have my own, they went and got the little Cow and Gate, you know, your pre-made ones. I went and got one of them. With Stanley, I don't know, I just didn't want to. I know it sounds horrible, I just didn't want to try. And to be honest, that was good. Well, not good, but because of all his problems now, they could see where he was growing and when he weren't growing, so they could see how many ounces and that he was on through like the first year, so that did come in handy. But I did feel like I was a bit pushed, because all the midwife kept saying, "Are you sure you don't want to breastfeed? He's got a strong suck," which is fair enough saying it at the odd time. But when you've got a midwife saying it about 5 times, like that does drive you. And then with Jack, I just chose to bottle feed straight away. One thing I panic about is not having time for the rest of the kids if I'm breastfeeding, if that makes sense. Because I know a lot of my friends used to say, "I've sat here for 6 hours and haven't moved, blah blah blah," and I thought, I cannot sit down for 6 hours to feed a baby. But I would have liked to try, but looking back, I did ask about expressing, but I got so many mixed views. One said you can't do it from birth, you have to breastfeed to get your milk going, which I don't know if that's true or not. And then the other one said, oh, you can't combi feed that early. I just got mixed reviews. I never actually spoke to someone who went, look, is this blah 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 blah. No, not even the midwife. Well, they said, because I've had 4 children, I didn't really see a lot of midwives, because they just left me to it, because they knew I was fine. If I had any issues, I could ring. But I just didn't really, not had the support, just, I think they knew what I was doing, if you know what I mean. But looking back, I should have said, I would like to try breastfeeding, can you get me into a breastfeeding class and all that. But the conversation never came up to that, if that makes sense. So that's my opinion. If you can breastfeed, that is amazing. To be honest, that's probably not easy, I don't want to say easy, because I know it, I've seen people, it's not easy, but I mean like in the night, just to get your boob out instead of going to get a bottle out of steriliser and all that. And that must be bonding. But you do bond with bottle feeding, obviously not the same way, but people say when they're breastfeeding they look at you in the eye, but when you are bottle feeding you can have them close and they do look you in the eye. But obviously breastfeeding, if you could do it, the benefits and all that, but nothing wrong with formula feeding. Next up is Dummies. I use Dummies. I just thought, a bit naive, I just thought babies had Dummies with George, and he had them, but he only had them for about 6 months, and then he just didn't want them. The same happened with Grace. I just did the same because I was 23, and you just think, oh, baby has a dummy. I don't know why, but with Stanley, he had really bad colic, and Jack, both really colicky babies. So was George, actually, but I didn't know that could be linked at the time. But Stanley and Jack, really bad colic, and Jack did get diagnosed with silent reflux. But I looked Dummies up in the end, and I said that can help with colic, like to get the air going in their body, like because they're sucking their, I don't know, I don't really get it, but as well that can help with SIDS, as they're doing something in their sleep to keep them going, like not keep them going, that sounds horrible. I can't think of the word. Someone did explain it to me, but that keep their mouth going, I didn't really understand. I'll have to link, I think it's a Lullaby Trust, I'll link that down below and you can look it up yourself. Second hand versus brand new. With George, I think I had everything brand new. I'm trying to think, yeah, brand new car. Most things, but clothes were the only things that I bought second hand. With Grace, she had George's stuff, and I got a pram. What pram did Grace have? What pram did I have? Oh, a Phil and Ted's, because that was a double. That was second hand. But as the kids had gone on, like Stanley, literally everything was second hand. Like, we found a baby shop where we got literally everything. I think the only thing we bought new was the steriliser, because ours is broke. And what else did we buy new? I'm trying to think what else we bought. Oh, we bought a little blue compact cot from Asda for £20, because we lived in a 2-bedroom house with 3 kids, so we needed something small, so we got that. But I find brand new is lovely, like brand new is amazing. Some things you can get quite cheap now, but when I was having George and Grace, things were really dear. Like you couldn't pick a Motors basket up for £20 in Asda. They were all like 50-60 quid. But with Jack, I think I bought a handful of clothes brand new. Everything else was second hand clothes. To be honest, I just typed in Next this season and got most of the stuff that was in Next on sale. I got a seagull looking at me, so please excuse me. I got I just googled and got second hand, even though that was like 20 quid in the shop. I got the baby grows for 10. So you do save a little bit of money. The amount of clothes they go through, there's no point in buying it. Well, I do like brand new clothes, but there was no point for me, in my opinion, for buying brand new clothes. So just to have a look around. If there's a pram you want, like the Bugaboo Donkey, that was the pram I was going to have with Jack and Stanley, but in the end I changed my mind. That's £1,000 brand new in the shop. I picked it up on eBay for 300, and that come with foot muffs, everything. What pram we got now? Like Jack's got the egg. I got that off eBay with everything, used for about a month it said, and they're like £1,000 in the shop without the car seat, the carry cot and all that stuff. I got it for £259, so it's best to have a look. I did have to buy the buggy board brand new because no one's selling their buggy boards, but you honestly do your research. If you don't mind buying second hand, you'll save so much more money. It's ridiculous amount. Like, people sell baby grows for 10p. You can get so many baby grows that they just shit on anyway. They just go, like, if you have a poo explosion, you haven't got to worry because you haven't paid 20 quid for the outfit. Do you know what I mean? So, like, even now, I struggle to get George. Does George have second hand? I get some of his hype stuff second hand because he like hype. Grace, now and again, depends on what I'm looking for. All their coats are always second hand. I never buy them a brand new coat unless I have to. I think George had his first brand new coat last year. That we'll do this year and the year after because I bought it big. But other than that, they all have second hands. Next thing is routines or no routines. To be honest, we haven't, since they were babies, we don't really have a routine. We sort of like try and get in our own one. And I try and put Stanley down at the same time every night now, and Jack, but they're not always tired. If they've had a longer nap or we've been in the car, they'll fall asleep. So we do have a go with the flow routine. But for George and Grace, when we're at school, well, in lockdown, there's no such thing as a routine in this house. That's gone phew, which I think that's probably in everyone's house. But when it comes to school, I try and stick to a strict routine with George and Grace, and I'll have to start like incorporating Stanley into it. But he has a lot of sleeping issues and has metalonin to help him sleep, which is crap. It doesn't even work, but we're trying that out. And just a routine for school to make sure they get to sleep and all that. But as babies, I kind of went with the flow. I've always found giving my children baths at night wakes them up even more. So I try to do like morning baths or a quick shower in the mornings, or a shower about 5 o'clock, like so they've got like a little time to play. But I've always found baths really do wake them up, so that doesn't help me in a routine, so that would be out of the question. Stanley has a book every other night because he don't really sit still to listen to stories. Grace has a book every night and George reads every night to himself. So we've got that sort of routine, but we're not big on routines. Next up is screen time. And I'm not going to lie, during lockdown, mine have been on it pretty much most of the day. Half the time it's because their schoolwork's on the screen. They're doing online learning. And then after that, they've worked so hard doing that, I think I'll just go watch your DVD, go play your game, go talk to... Well, to be honest, George plays Minecraft with my nephews, and they get to talk because they ain't seeing each other. But I do try and limit it. Like, I tell them to come off late afternoon and just do something, or play. They've been playing in the pool, or go on the trampoline for half an hour just to do something. Do you know what I mean? But I do find that they do learn stuff through the screen. Like, I'm trying to think. Stanley learnt his colours from when he was about 2 through a song he learnt off YouTube. So he now knows all of his colours, which is helpful. And I just think in some ways it's not always a bad thing. But I do try and monitor when they go back to school. Obviously that'll be like an hour at tea time, or late in the evening, so George can talk to my brothers or my dad, because they play together. But other than that, I just do what's best for you. That's all I'm going to say in this video, is whatever's best for you. If you've got more than one child and you've got stuff to do, bunging the TV on isn't going to hurt them, especially during a lockdown. If you haven't had it, if your kids haven't had extra screen time, you must have some magical powers, because I don't know how people are doing it. Last but not least is vaccinations, injections, what else do they call them? Jabs. I'm trying to think what the doctors call them. I can't remember what they call them. But obviously, as you know, babies have injections, I think 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 16 weeks, then at a year. It might have changed now, but they were when Jack was a baby 9 months, 10 months, 9 months? 9 months ago. So I don't know if it's changed in that amount of time. I don't know. But I've always vaccinated my children. I know people don't, and they have their opinions and they have their research. I've personally done my own research, and for my family that has come better for us to vaccinate. And even with Stanley, he's had double vaccinations as his body didn't absorb him with all this stuff going on. So yeah, I understand why people don't. I understand people have reactions and they don't want to do them anymore. I get that. I literally, like I said, just doing what's best for my family, like people are going to do for their families. But I just want to make sure mine are covered, as you can get quite poorly. But if you had a child who's had a reaction to injection, they've been quite poorly. So I get both. I get it. Do you know what I mean? I get it. I'm not judging. I'm not judging at all, because I know people have different opinions on so much stuff. So no, we ain't all the same. So yeah, if you want to vaccinate, do it. If you don't, fair enough. I understand. So thank you for watching this video. I know it's a bit different to the usual, but I want to try and do a bit more videos like this, like just normal, real talking. Do you know what I mean? So I'll have to have a look what other videos I can do. But thank you for watching. Please give the thumbs up if you like it. Give your opinions on what you agree with and what you didn't agree with in the comments. That's fine. And thank you for watching, and I will see you again another day. Goodbye.